What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a recent rumor going around for the Chicago Bulls that I want to discuss today, basically suggesting that the Chicago Bulls rejected a deal for a straight swap with Atlanta Hawks center Clint Capela. And I think that's a pretty interesting move to even be offered, let alone to reject. So that being said, I kind of want to discuss my thoughts on a deal like that, just simply a straight swap. I want to discuss if the Bulls did the right thing here, and I want to discuss whether or not the Bulls should continue to be looking for trades for guys like Nikola Vucevic and for guys like Zach LaVine. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls. Would you accept a deal like this? Let's just say you were the GM of the Chicago Bulls today, and that deal went to your, I guess, emails, or they called you, they made that offer today. Would you accept it? Would you reject it? Or would you try to add something more to a deal like this? So without further ado, let's get started. So the rumor was that basically the Bulls rejected this because of the other offers that might be happening behind the scenes with Nikola Vucevic that we are unaware of. So basically, they are listening to deals and maybe found a better one out there at this point in time. And B, a big reason why they may have rejected this is the contract situations. But before we get into that, what do we get with a guy like Clint Capela? Well, he's the basic opposite of Nikola Vucevic in almost every way. So the only two things that they have in common in my eyes is they're both good rebounders. Clint Capela, for a guy his size, is a great rebounder, averaging 9 rebounds per game. Pretty sure Vucevic is averaging a double-double, a 20 and 10 type of season for him at this point in time. Vucevic is a much more identifiable offensive threat. He's a very good playmaker. He's a very good post threat. He's been knocking down the three at a very good clip this season. He's had a much better season this season than last, and he's been a very valuable asset to the Chicago Bulls on the offensive end. Whereas Clint Capela is going to be a good rebounder. He's going to give you better defensive capabilities. He averages 1 block per game, which isn't great, but also isn't terrible. And he's a very much a bigger athletic threat. So he can catch the lobs and he can cause damage in that way for the Chicago Bulls if he was to be here. We've got a couple of good playmakers in there. Josh Giddey, Lonzo Ball. Having a guy like Clint Capela that could catch a lob, I'm sure would definitely be a very good asset. But ultimately, I don't think Clint Capela would make a bigger impact here than he would on the Hawks. I think the Hawks is a very good team for him because he's in pick and roll situations with Trae Young, who's a 3-level threat and one of the best players in the league. So I don't necessarily think he'd be averaging 9 and 9 if he was to come here to Chicago. That's what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, did the Bulls make the right decision to reject this deal? The way that I see it, I think this is the right decision. I don't think we should be going for Clint Capela right now. The reason why is the contract situation. I think this is very, very, very important. So Clint Capela is making $18 million per season, I believe, and he's expiring. It's an expiring contract. Basically, that makes him a unrestricted free agent in 2025. Nikola Vucevic is making around $20 million per season, but he will be an unrestricted free agent in 2026. Essentially, Vucevic has 2 years left on his deal, whereas Clint Capela has 1 year left on his deal. Now, that might not scream out to you, ladies and gentlemen, but you guys, I feel, would know me very well. I hate losing assets for free. So let's just say we trade Nikola Vucevic and we get Clint Capela. And let's just say in a hypothetical situation, Clint Capela does not re-sign with the Chicago Bulls this offseason. What exactly do the Bulls get out of that situation? Well, you could say they get money, more cap space. Cap space to do what? Who are we going to sign that's going to make us compete at the moment? In my opinion, that is not the right attitude to kind of have. We need to be going after young talent. As much as the money might help with that, I think it's very, very, very important to make the right decisions when it comes to the draft, when it comes to getting that young talent. So money aside, yes, you'll get some money, but other than that, you get no draft capital, and you're losing a center that is probably better. So, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. If this was, let's just say, a situation where the Bulls are this close to competing, and they decide to make pull the trigger like this, knowing that even if Clint Capela doesn't re-sign with the Bulls, they can use that money to go and sign someone else. That makes sense. If we're this close to competing, and the Bulls decide to have that shift to really bring us to the top, I can understand that. And taking the risk on Clint Capela, and if he works out, let's say, it could be very valuable to the Chicago Bulls. But we're not in that position. And at the moment, I would much rather have the Atlanta Hawks add something to that. Add a draft pick or add a young talent in there rather than just a straight swap. So I think the Bulls made a great decision here. And I really hope that they have their standards, not high, but their standards to a point where you can pick a direction. Because with this trade with Clint Capela, I don't see a direction. I don't see us competing with Clint Capela. I don't see us going younger with Clint Capela either. But if you added a draft pick, at least there's a direction there. You added 2 draft picks, there's very valuable direction there. And that's when things can really start to heat up. But if the Hawks don't want to give that, then the Bulls shouldn't just be trading Nikola Vucevic for the sake of it. It's very similar to the Zach LaVine situation. Keep in mind, I know both these guys didn't make the All-Star game, which is I think is disgusting. We'll get to that tomorrow. But these two are playing at All-Star level. I don't care what anybody tells me. So we shouldn't just be trading them willy-nilly for nothing. I understand that people want to see these guys go, but you have to see them go for the right price. What I want from Nikola Vucevic is simple. I want picks in return. That's what I want. I don't need another player in return. I understand you have to match contracts. You can send Clint Capela to the Bulls, but you better add draft picks to that. Otherwise, there is no point in the Bulls doing a deal like this. You may as well keep the better player in the hopes that you could get a better deal from somebody else. It's the same with Zach LaVine. I'd rather see Zach LaVine go for picks. Bring a young talent in, of course. I'd love that. Bring a bad contract in for the sake of the picks, fine. I can live with that. But as long as we're just trading them willy-nilly for nothing, there's no value in that. There's no direction in that. And to me, it's a completely wasted trade if we did do that. I'm not saying this to disrespect the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm not saying this to disrespect the Bulls either. I'm just saying, even for the Hawks, I don't think this is a good move. To be honest. I just don't. I just don't think this is a good move. Look, I'm sure it's a better move for them than it is for us, but I don't necessarily see them looking at this deal and saying, you know what? Yeah, that's the one. I don't know. That's just me personally. So, I'm happy that this deal did not go through if it was true, and I hope the Bulls can look for better, and I think we could do a little bit better. I'm not saying we're going to do massively better than this deal, but I think we could do a little bit better. And maybe the Hawks could even up their deal a little bit. Maybe give us a second-round pick or 2 second-round picks. I think that's the bare asking point. If they can't do that, then they don't deserve a player like Nikola Vucevic. So, that's all I got to say. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Thank you for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. I know there'll be a game reaction tomorrow, but at some point I want to talk about LaVine and Vucevic not being an all-star. I'm not going to add it into this video just because I like to separate the videos. Gives me more things to talk about throughout the week. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the game reaction. I think we have a game against the Raptors tomorrow. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.